Hi everybody, it's Lori Wetzel here with the next installment of Tech Tip Tuesdays. And this week I'm going to share with you one of the resources that I was aware of, but that I was reminded of at McCall. And Steve Dembo, who works for Discovery Education and is a fabulous presenter, did a session on the 10 best Web 2.0 tools, and this is one of them. It is, of course, a free tool, like most of the things that I show, and this one is called Symbaloo. It is www.symbaloo, SYMBALOO.com, and this is the educational portion of the website. So Symbaloo describes itself as a personal learning environment. Basically what it does is it allows users to visually organize and share their favorite websites or favorite bookmarks. And one way to think of it is that it is a social bookmarking tool. So it is essentially a visual Digo, which is one of the Web 2.0 tools I shared right in the beginning. So like most Web 2.0 sites, one of the first things you're going to do is create your account. It is totally free. I have already created my account, so I am going to go ahead and log into the site. When you first create your account, it's going to come preloaded with these educational web mixes, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. And these can easily be deleted, but because you created an EDU account, these web mixes have resources right on the page that may be helpful to you as an educator. I'm going to take the approach that you're starting from scratch. So I use the word web mix, and that's what this is. The Symbaloo environment works on a web mix, and each of these pages or tabs is called a web mix. And you can edit your web mixes. This one right now is blank, so I'm just going to click on Edit Web Mix, and I have the option to rename my web mix. So I'm just going to call it Lori's First Web Mix and save it. And for your purposes, with your students in your classroom, it might be math or social studies or a particular unit you're working on within your classes. You also have the option to change the wallpaper. So you can choose some fun background or a colored background, or you can actually upload your own images. Because it does tend to get kind of busy, I'm just going to keep it exactly the way it is with the black background. I'm going to move over to one of these preloaded web mixes, and each of these hot links that's within the web mix is called a tile. And this is where you create your own customized set of bookmarks for your use or for use with your students. Now, if you wanted to start from scratch and create your own web mix, all you need to do is click on this button right here and name it. So I'm going to pretend that I want to create a new web mix. It creates it right here, and it calls it My Web Mix, and I already showed you how you can now rename the web mix or change the wallpaper to it. Another option that you have is to use the gallery, and this is the Symbaloo gallery, so I'm going to click on it right here. And again, because this is a tool that is aimed at education, I can, for instance, find a web mix that has been shared publicly. I'm just going to type in science and see what comes up. So when I search for science, it's going to bring up all of the different web mixes that have been created that have the keyword science in them. I'm not sure why world history shows up on top, but 3rd through 5th grade teachers, this may be of interest to you. So it's got 3rd through 5th grade sites in math, science, social studies, and reading. I can view the web mix, and if it looks like something I might use, I can just go ahead and add this web mix right to my account. As teachers, we don't need to recreate the wheel, and we should use what other teachers have created. And a site like Symbaloo, because it's collaborative in nature, allows us to do that. Now, sometimes using what others have already created is more work than creating it from scratch yourself. So I am going to show you how to create your own web mix. I'm going to use these arrows along the top here to navigate between my different tabs. So I'm going to click on my first web mix, which right now is completely empty, and I'm going to show you how you're going to add your tiles or add your web links. You have a few different options for adding your tiles. I'm just going to click on one. This is where I want it to go. I'm going to click Add New Tile. Again, because this is educational in nature, you have the option to search for tiles. So it's asking, what tile would you like to add? I am going to, for instance, click on Discovery Education because I want to put a link to that for my students right on my site. If I search for it, it finds all of these different tiles that have to do with Discovery Education. This one right here happens to be the site I'm looking for, so all there is to it is to just drag it into place. So now if you share this Symbaloo site with your page, with your students have the ability to just click there and go directly to Discovery Education. You also have the option to create your own tiles. I'm going to click on Add New Tile, and I want to create a tile for our Destiny online library system, and they're probably not going to have that within the library. So I'm going to click here on Create Your Own Tile, and it's pretty simple. So all you have to do is add the address of the website, and the address of Destiny is lib.misd.net. And when I click down here, it verifies it. It understands what it is. I don't want it to say Welcome to Macomb Intermediate. I want it to say Destiny. You design it. You choose what color you want the tile to be, and you have the option to assign an icon to it. So you've got a lot of different icon choices. And over here on page 6, there happens to be one with books, which seems appropriate. And I want the name right on the tile in white. So I'm going to add the tile to the web mix. It shows up here, so now all you have to do is drag that tile down into your web mix. You also have the option to add a tile using an image that maybe you have saved on your computer somewhere. So I'm going to go to click here to create your own tile once again, and I want to create a link to our Blackboard system. And Blackboard is located within that searchable library, but the problem is that it's not the link to the Macomb ISD Blackboard system. So I'm going to create my link to Blackboard. I'm going to keep it white. And what I did is I got an image off of that website. So I'm going to say upload my own image, and I'm going to browse for that image. And here it is. And I'm now going to say upload and select the part in the image that should be used, done, and I'm going to say use selection for the tile. There's my Blackboard tile, and I'm going to say add it to the web mix. So you have a few different options when it comes to adding tiles to your web mix. And just like I did before, I'm going to drag it into my web mix. Let's try that one more time. There we go. So that's how you can create tiles and add them to your web mix. You do have one more option. So I'm going to click on Add a New Tile. I'm going to throw it over here. And you have this option to make a new web mix with the Quick Start. So whatever I select here isn't going to go on this web mix page. It's going to go on its own. So I'm going to click on this and just show you how convenient this tool is because it is education based. So let's say you were a math teacher and you wanted a link to Wolfram Alpha. All I have to do is click on it. If you're working with elementary students searching the internet, Boolify is a great tool. Maybe you want the kids creating a word cloud with Tagxedo. The tool is right there. Maybe the students are creating a Prezi. Or maybe you want access to your Digo account. So all of these things are built right in to this portion of the menu where you can select some of your favorite web tools, and it will create a web mix directly from these tools. You also have the option to install web mixes according to your interests. So if you are a math teacher or a science teacher or a social studies teacher, all of these web mixes are automatically set up for you. So again, don't recreate the wheel. If anything else, it might give you links to some great sites that you were unaware of. I'm just going to click on install the selected web mixes, and again, this is going to go on a completely separate page that it's now called Home Web Mix. The other ones that I created are still on my Lori's First Web Mix page. Like any good Web 2.0 tool, you have the ability to share your web mix. So I had already clicked on this. Yours is actually going to say share. So I'm going to go ahead and click on share to demonstrate what this process looks like. You fill in the name, you fill in the description, you can fill in tags, and if you think you've got a great web mix that you should share, share it publicly. Now I'm going to go ahead and click on share my web mix, and what happens is that Symbaloo will give me this link. So this is a link that I can post on my website, this is a link that I can email to students, and this will give your students and your parents and whoever you want to have access to this Symbaloo access to it. You also have the option to get the embed code. It generates it generates the code necessary to embed it into websites, like Weebly, for instance. I will give you a word of warning that the dimensions of the web mix may present a problem when you embed it into your website. I'm going to go ahead and X out of that. So to wrap up, that was symbalooedu.com. It is a great way to visually organize and share your favorite bookmarks, either for personal use or with your students. You know where to find me if you have any questions. Have a